Welcome to Boracay. To be precise, to the new Boracay. It's always the same island, but as you may know, the island was closed for 6 months for rehabilitation during 2018, and so we came to visit to see what changed. It's October, but the weather is already really very good, and as you can notice, even if it's a weekend, the beach is not that crowded. Most of the tourism, not most, but a good part of it, let's say, is Asian tourism, and Asian people usually don't like to get too much tan or to stay under the sun. So during the day, the beach is quite empty. All of a sudden you will see a lot of people coming just to take photos, pictorials with sunset, and we also have some special effect to let you show the difference. And here we are at sunset time. Let's go back to daytime. This video was shot in White Beach, which is the most famous beach of Boracay Island. Anyway, there are several other nice beaches in the island if you have time to go around. There's Puka Beach, which is just going this way, and it's much more wild. There are not all these structures and restaurants. Beach, which is just this way on the opposite side of the beach. Just is not that nice, it's quite narrow, but it's very windy and it's a very nice place for kite surfing. And then we have New Coast, which is a new complex with several coves and beaches, and it's a very modern style area with very modern hotels, everything very well organized and new. And it's a nice place also if you want to experience the island. Just saw was a signage that indicates all the new rules and regulations for the tourists in Boracay Beach. Actually, there are not that many. They're all quite reasonable. Some are a bit stricter than the normal beach, but anyway, you cannot smoke on White Beach. That was already the case before, actually. And it's not allowed to drink alcohol. You just go to the bars. It's full of bars anyway. Just at the pathway, you don't need to drink your alcohol on the beach. Noisy music from your cell phone, and there was an odd rule, apparently odd rule, that it was no sandcastle. You can just relax. If you are here with your kids, they can do all the sandcastles they want. I think they were referring mostly about these very big sandcastles that were made by almost professionals, let's say, and then they were trying to get money from tourists that want to take the photo with the castle, so they actually started to be too many, and so that's why they started to regulate this thing and say no more sandcastle. But no more sandcastle for profit. If you want to do your own sandcastle, there's no problem. The beach is actually very friendly and nice. It's not such a strict place as someone suggested. The hotels that you will see here on the white beach, likewise in all the island, they should be accredited by the government agency. So during the closure of Boracay, many hotels needed to comply. Some didn't, so they were closed. New ones opened, but so the number of rooms available in the island will be less, since they are trying to limit the number of tourists per day staying in the island. So make sure when you go to Boracay that you already have a voucher of an accredited hotel, so that you can show it at the port and they will let you in. Otherwise, you cannot enter the island. Here I am on Willis Rock, which is a landmark of the White Beach, because the White Beach is totally uninterrupted until this point where you can find this rock. This is the area that was mostly affected by the rehabilitation, because many of the hotels, you can see them on my back, they were partially demolished, and also to widen the road that is just behind the building, and to widen this stretch of the beach, because this portion of the beach is affected by tides very much more than the other sides of the beach. When there's high tide, the beach really narrows a lot. Not like now that you see it very wide on my back. And so many hotels, they built too many structures that were invading the beach, and the beach was becoming really too narrow in this part. So many of them had to rebuild and practically shrink their size. You shouldn't be too worried about it. I think the works are gonna end soon, and anyway, it's just a small portion of the beach. Mainly, this is a part of Station 1, while the other parts of the beach are totally okay, so there's no problem in visiting Boracay already. Since many of you at this doubt, how is it? Is it like a construction site? It's totally okay, just some part of the beach, and anyways, for the well-being of the beach. So here we are at the port of Boracay. Upon leaving, we were able to see some interesting boards that explain what are the interventions that were made for the sewage, for the solid waste management, and particularly for the preservation of the wetlands in the central parts of the island and in other mangroves area, which will give another contribution for the rehabilitation of the ecosystem of the island, not just for the beach but for the whole island. We like to be informed about this also, and so Boracay can just get better